It's certainly great to be here with a great group of folks that are here and for the purpose with which you're here. And to take just an afternoon here today and to think about long-term planning. We shouldn't forget how rare that is in the hustle and bustle world that we live in now. How rare it is for people to come from all parts of a state with the joint mission of acknowledging what we have been a part of, but more importantly, what our forebears set up for us to do, the conserving and the respecting of our natural environment, the protecting of that environment, but to take that mission, to take that baton, and to try to replicate the intensity from which it was given to us and make sure that the mission that we carry forward is one that is of protection and respect. Words inscribed in the Capitol Rotunda are very, very simple, and ones I look at a lot. Where there is no vision, the people perish. This group today and the continuation of these groups involved today is important in helping us establish that vision. That vision will provide a context for decisions, but absent some unified vision, what we'll see is a splintering and a divisiveness that will take us away from our joint mission. So you are part of a heritage that has consistently demonstrated that vision, and now we have a responsibility to lengthen that vision. What's that mean? And believe me, I'm not going to go all that long here, don't worry. First of all, we have to make sure that people in our state appreciate, when I say people, I mean everyone, appreciate the wonderful assets that we have. We cannot begin this journey if education is not a part of it, if appreciation is not a part of it. And that is going to require additional effort on all of our parts. Now, as was mentioned by Dave, I have lived a life in which I spend a fair amount of time indoors, but my free time is consistently spent outdoors. And I think that through a lifetime of being involved outdoors, I have come to appreciate it. Not what I read necessarily in a book, not what I saw in a TV commercial, not what a teacher told me in a classroom, not what somebody said in a legislative hearing, but actually just like Monday evening. After Sunday evening, Georgiana and I took Daniel Boone, our dog, and went out to Painted Rock and hiked that trail out there. And on Monday evening, we had had such a good time that we wanted to do it again, and we were trying to find places around, so we decided, I tried now to hike and fish in places where there aren't people asking me to be appointed to the Conservation Commission and whatnot. So I tried to find a trail at Rockbridge that was the least used trail. So I'm in this research project of trying to find the least used trail at Rockbridge and get out there and do that. And we were able to obviously access the internet and choose which trail we were going to hike on and get out there and walk about 2.6 miles with Daniel Boone and Georgianne and I. Ed was along with us just to provide ambiance to the outdoors there. I mean, we could have come across a species that it was their season, and always useful to. I think the cameras are rolling here. I made a huge mistake. I made a speech yesterday. We talked about how we have a garden now at the mansion. Georgianne planted a garden, and we're growing radishes that we actually had in a salad that we had for dinner night before last. And I made a mistake. I was talking about this gardening because it was gardening month this month, so I had this presentation to make all the gardeners across the state. And I told them how much we appreciated that, but how much we really appreciated that it was also rabbit season. And it really wasn't the right group to say that to. I just leave it at that. It was this YouTube thing is going to. I'm going to really try to get as much out of the first term here as I possibly can with the looseness of my language here. But the point is, the thing that both Georgianne and I mentioned that we enjoyed about that hike at Rockbridge there was the quiet and the solace and the plants and the animals. And as we came across that trail, we turned a corner, and there in a, like between two trees laying down, was a tiny fawn that could not have been more than just a few weeks old, sleeping. But then as we walked, I mean, one eye open of this baby deer right there looking up at us. And while we couldn't see the doe we knew was near, you could feel it. You know, a mama is not going to leave their baby out there to be looked at by Ed and I. And we never did see the doe. But we knew it was there, and you could feel it. And that is what you get when you begin to understand and appreciate the depth of what we have as far as a richness in this state. Is an ability for us as human beings to step back far more than 75 years to imagine what the feelings were like. Perhaps 150, 250 years to think what it was like to walk right there as a Native American or as a settler in the area, and to feel those woods and that life around you. That's something that we don't get, and we're not going to get by, like I said, a TV show or an ad or something like that. We've got to all make sure that these next generations we have, in order for us to accomplish the conservation that we need to have and us to protect the water and the air and the forests and continue to provide more and more otters to kill more fish that I want to catch, we have to make sure that our people, our citizens, feel that like we do. Not just those animals, but those plants, that air, that water. And to understand that as we move forward with population, as we move forward with power and production, as we move forward with highways and malls and everything else, that the job in the next 75 years to accomplish what we have done in this first 75 years is going to be harder. It is not going to get easier. It is going to get harder. And we have to realize, while we have been given this opportunity, that the task at hand is greater than the task that has been accomplished to date. To maintain our resolute position as a place in which Glenn can stand here and say that we stand first in the country in conserving our natural resources and supporting conservation and supporting our state. And that to be not only heartfelt, but also to be true, is something that needs to be said in a room like this 75 years from now with a whole different group of people.